Hey guys, and welcome back. I don't have my glasses today. I wanted to change it up a little bit. So, I wanted to hop on here and talk about conflicting emotions. Conflicting emotions. So, sometimes we say one thing, but internally, we might feel another. And sometimes we choose to do the mature thing, right? And we kind of might feel multiple ways in a moment, but we know we kind of like gather ourselves together, and what are we going to present to the outside world? Whether it's in a relationship or in a group, or and you might have experienced this before. You might feel anxiety when going to do a presentation, right? And then there's another part of you that kicks in. It's like, let's do this. We can do this. We can overcome this, right? So I just wanted to come on here and talk about this because this is a real thing. We don't feel one way all the time. And not only that, but we certainly don't feel one thing in one moment. We might feel sad and happy. We might feel angry and content. And so, our emotions, we can start to personify them, so we can start identifying the parts inside of us. So our inner child might feel a certain way, but then we might also recognize that maybe we've internalized a family member from our past, and they're coming up inside of us. So, and then there's the adult inside of us. And this is, by the way, I did not create this. This is not my work. This is based on, honestly, Freud is the one who originally, the id, the ego, and the superego. But transactional analysis by, I forget the person's name, basically said that we have definitely three parts inside of us, which is the child, the adult, and the parent. Because we all go through childhood, we all have parents, and then we all become adults if we choose to, right? And so anyway, and then as psychology has expanded, and as a lot of people are doing today, is combining like these east and west approaches, which I have found most healing for my journey, and that's how I help people now. I combine both of these approaches and I tailor it to them so they can feel more expansive and so they can basically understand, because it really comes down to, if you don't understand a concept, how can you integrate it into your life? Anyway, so yeah, the child might feel sad and angry. And then if you shame that part of yourself, maybe even the internalized family member shames you, so then we just stuff the child in the corner, and then the adult comes forward with some sort of inauthentic, false answer. And we do this a lot. I know I'm not the only one. This is why people like me exist, and we're all human. So the most important part, I think, is to just be aware that this is happening, and so you can own your process. I've been doing this new thing, and I just want to shout it from like the rooftop, like, we need to start owning our process and being able to talk about these things in a healthier and more open fashion. Because if we don't start using the language of healing with other people, I don't know what I'm trying to say. It's like we're going to continue on this cycle of stigmatizing. So when expressing true authenticity about our parts, we need to be able to say, this part of me felt this way, and at the same time, I know that this is what's healthy for me to do. So now I'm not keeping parts of myself tucked away. I'm able to openly and honestly express how I really feel on multiple levels in a calm and healthy manner, right? I mean, this is phenomenal for me because it wasn't always in a calm and healthy manner. I mean, and I still sometimes too, if I'm not in the right, and that's when you got to call a healthy timeout. If you don't feel like you're in the space to do it, like, I need a healthy timeout, I can't talk to you right now. But when we are in our best self and our highest self and our truest self, when I like to call, we're having a bee's knees day, which is certainly not every day. But when we're on fire, this girl is on fire. We can just own our feelings and say them, and we begin to take our power back. A lot of times in the family of origin, family dysfunction, we learn don't talk, don't feel, don't express, all these things, and it's not, you get to a point where you're like, this is not getting me anywhere, this is not serving me. How can I become, this, like, I've been calling it the CEO of your internal domain, the CEO. And also spiritually realizing that there's yin and yang in all of us. There's shadow in all of us. There's dark desires and parts of ourselves in every one of us. And to deny that will lead you into insanity. Because all of us have flaws. None of us are perfect. And so when we can start paying attention to these emotions, and we can start recognizing the path of the emotion. So where is this coming from, and how old does this emotion feel? You got to use some of your intuition. You got to be open. It doesn't need to be a perfect process. You just have to be open to the process. So this type of thinking takes you from really superficial type of consciousness to you dragging yourself down and getting deeper with yourself. And in the end, you will be rewarded because you will know yourself on a much deeper level. And honestly, when you know yourself on a much deeper level, you can take, your relationships, something happens, I can't explain it. Your relationships will become more fulfilled. Because no longer you are hiding the fact that you feel, maybe you do feel resentment and anger, and at the same time you feel happy for somebody. And there was this idea in the past that you can't tell people your negative feelings, but fuck that. We're coming into a new paradigm. We have to be willing and able to express ourselves fully in a healthy way. That is the difference. We're no longer reacting, but we're expressing in healthy ways, and we're able to accept and love people even with everything that they express. And this is so important, and then as this starts happening transactionally, not just internally, transactionally, like when you do inner child work and you reparent yourself, but when you actually bring that live outside of yourself and you start engaging in a dynamic with someone and start revealing yourself, it's not always going to be fun. It's going to be painful sometimes. And to be really honest with you, it was just this past year that I finally got to experience that with, a really good friend of mine now. I mean, I don't think I have that type of friendship that I have with this person. I mean, we were romantic at one point, but we're not anymore. And our friendship is very deep. I think I know myself better just by having somebody to practice that aspect of myself with. And you're definitely not going to be able to do this with just everybody or anybody, but so you might not feel comfortable with some people, and that's okay. I think the important thing is you listen to that. You listen to, who do I feel comfortable with this? I mean, because it does take a level of inner work that the other person's doing. because some people you walk up to and be like, hey, inner child parent, they'll be like, what? And that's not a judgment. I've been there too. You know, I'm just kind of, anyone can learn this skill. Okay, so it's not discriminating. I'm just kind of broadcasting that you got to be careful. So the emotions, it's a map to our parts. We give all parts a voice. We can say, I feel this and this. And we get to step into authenticity and vulnerability, which is the antidote to shame, as Brene Brown says. So, I'm out of breath. I hope you guys had a good day. Remember to subscribe and like this video. One day I'll have a wonderful studio green screen thing and it'll be great. But that's not what's happening right now. I'm filming in my car on my lunch break, and that's just the way the cookie crumbles, as Truman from the Truman Show would say. Namaste. I will see you guys next time.